Hey y'all, it's Shanice, and this is your weekly astrology forecast for the week of January the 19th through January the 25th, 2026. Um, this is a collective reading, so I'm focusing on the signs, degrees, and the energy. Now, this week is powerful. Like, it's a really big vibe shift. We have Aquarius season starting, and then we have these Pluto activations with the planets moving into Aquarius. So that's Venus and the Sun and Mars all moving into Aquarius this week. This week has three main themes. So, Aquarius season begins, like I said, and that changes the whole atmosphere or the energy in our lives. The second is Pluto is activated in Aquarius, like I said again. So, we're talking truth, pressure, power, and transformation with those Pluto activations. And then the moon is making or moving signs, some powerful energy. So the moon is moving through Aries and then to Taurus. And we'll also have earlier in the week the moon in Pisces. So we end the week with momentum and reality checks with that Aries and Taurus moon energy. So if you've been feeling like something is changing, yes, that you're feeling it right, you're aligned. That's this energy this week. Okay, so boom, the people who are going to feel this energy this week the most are the ones with personal placements near these degrees that I'm about to mention. So, Aquarius placements at 0 to 8 degrees. If you have your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or Mercury in early degrees of Aquarius, this is giving a new chapter, a new version, a new era. And then the late degrees, that's 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn, Pisces, and Taurus, especially. This is a completion energy. Like, this week is the final exam of some sort of lesson that you've been moving through. And fixed signs overall, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, this week can feel like pressure, breakthroughs, or power struggles, but it's not random. It's showing you where you need to evolve. And if you don't know the degrees, that's perfectly fine. Just listen to the themes. You'll start to recognize how these are showing up in your life. So let's talk about what Aquarius season actually does. When the moon, not the moon, when the sun moves into Aquarius, the energy becomes future focused, community focused, audience and social spaces are more into focus, friendships, networking, ideas, innovation, breaking out of old patterns, and low key detachment. Aquarius is the part of us that says, I need space to think, I need room to evolve. I'm not doing things the old way anymore. So, this is not the week to be overly emotional about everything. This is the week to ask yourself what makes sense in the long term, what's sustainable, what relationships feel aligned, what spaces feel draining, and where am I being called to upgrade? So, the Pluto activation and what it means in real life practically. Now, I'm not going to lie, Pluto being activated is why this week might feel intense. Pluto transits bring deep truth, power dynamics, obsession energy, endings, transformation, shadow work, and a need for control. But Pluto is also clarity. Pluto is that energy of I can't unsee what I see now. So this week may expose who's real, who's not, what's working, what's not, and what you've outgrown. And it doesn't have to be dramatic, but it will be very honest with that Pluto energy. So I want to talk a little bit more about Pluto, like the Venus Pluto activation and what that can look like in real life. So that might be unrequited love or crushes, intense attraction, cutting off old patterns, money decisions, values changing. And that Mercury Pluto conjunction is more of like how to avoid spiraling when Pluto is activated. So it's best to pause before reacting, stay in the facts, and write it out. Also, avoid stalking your ex's social media or doom scrolling, and protecting your peace this week. The sun will also be activating Pluto this week. So just make sure you are not overreacting or catching yourself in spirals. Now, let's get to the day to day breakdown. So, on Monday, that's when Aquarius season begins and Venus will form a conjunction to Pluto. So, Monday is a day that is stacked. But here's the thing, the moon is void all day on Monday. So, Monday might feel like I know I need to do something, but it's not moving yet. Or I'm thinking a lot, but I'm not ready to act yet. And then the sun will be forming a sextile to Neptune at 29 degrees. So this is a soft exit. It can also feel like closure, reflection, spiritual understanding. It's giving I'm done forcing it type of energy. Later in the afternoon, or the evening, I should say, is the sun entering Aquarius. This is the real shift for Monday. And the rest of this month, honestly, this is when you start thinking ahead with that Aquarius energy. And then later in the evening, after the sun enters Aquarius, Venus will form a conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. So, this right here is like some really intense attraction type of energy. It's deep emotional truth, jealousy coming up, power dynamics in love, or suddenly realizing what you actually want, because Venus represents our desires. And you might feel a little bit more detached in examining your desires with Venus in Aquarius. So Monday night into Tuesday can feel like I'm not settling anymore. And Saturn will sextile Uranus. Mars will form a trine to Uranus. A lot of conversations with Uranus on Monday. Mars will also be talking to Saturn as well, along with Uranus. So all of these planets are basically communicating with each other. Now, this is actually a really productive configuration in the skies. This is discipline and change, structure and innovation, mature effort finally paying off, and you might start to see real progress in something that you've been working on. So even if the moon is void, the night energy is giving I'm building something new, I'm breaking an old pattern, I'm growing, and I'm making the grown decision. So the best use for Monday's astrology or Monday's energy is planning, reflecting, still setting intentions, because we are still in that new moon energy. And watch out for forcing outcomes, because the moon will not be forming any aspects on Monday. Now, Tuesday, Mercury enters Aquarius. And Tuesday, this is the shift within the mind. Mercury rules our thinking and the way that we commute and get around. And Mercury, right before Mercury enters Aquarius, it will form a sextile to Neptune and Pisces. So this is good for intuitive downloads, dreams, spiritual clarity, but it still wants you to double check the facts. Now, when Mercury enters Aquarius, the mind gets sharper, a bit more detached and future focused. So, this energy is good for content ideas if you are a content creator, some strategy like planning, problem solving, talking to your audience, or like I said, if you're a content creator, really connecting with your social media spaces, the people who follow you, and also planning long term. Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, and it likes to think long term, but also it likes structure as well. So the moon will be forming a sextile to Chiron, and this can help soften your day emotionally. It's good for having healing conversations, but make sure you stay flexible, because the moon will also form a square to Uranus retrograding right now. So that's like plot twist type of energy. It can look like mood swings, change of plans, random spikes of anxiety, some sudden news, tech acting weird, or people acting unpredictable. So Tuesday's energy is for brainstorming, building strategies, and thinking about your future goals, your future moves. Now, watch out for being overstimulated and reacting to things too fast on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury forming a cazimi. So, this is a cazimi means Mercury is in the heart of the Sun. This is clarity. This is downloads. This is big thinking. It's a good day to record, to write, plan your next steps, make an announcement, send the email, or mapping out your next month. So, Wednesday morning is one of the best days of the week mentally. It's like getting a clear download on your future goals. And then the moon is in Pisces, so it will form a conjunction with the North Node. This is spiritual alignment type of energy. The North Node is where we are trying to go. And it can feel like a sign your intuition is louder, emotional release, or realizing what your spirit actually wants. Now, the moon goes void until the next day. So, Wednesday night is more about resting, reflecting, and receiving the downloads, or reflecting on the downloads that you've gotten on Wednesday with that cazimi. Now, Thursday, Mercury will be talking to Pluto, forming a conjunction, and Mars will form a sextile to Neptune. So, Thursday is kind of intense mentally. It's kind of like that investigative energy when Mercury and Pluto come together. This is some sort of truth coming out, having those deep, uncomfortable conversation. It can show up as obsession energy, wanting to know what's really going on, or actually realizing someone's intentions. It's giving, I can read between the lines now. That's Thursday's energy. So use it for researching, doing breath work, like some sort of somatic healing, strategizing, journaling about the truth. It's also good for shadow work without spiraling. The moon is forming harmonious aspects to Jupiter. So this is that emotional support. If Thursday feels too intense with that Mercury Pluto conjunction, that moon trine Jupiter is emotional support, some softness and reassurance. And also the Mars forming a sextile to Neptune and Pisces later in the evening, like late at night. So this is productive spiritual energy. This is good for getting creative, and getting more disciplined about your healing. It's good also for releasing something spiritually. So on Thursday, watch out for paranoia, overthinking, or doom scrolling. Now, Friday, Mars enters Aquarius, and then the sun forms a conjunction with Pluto. So Friday is like a power day. Mars enters Aquarius when most of us are asleep, and that's motivation that becomes future focused. So Mars in Aquarius wants to take action on an idea. It likes to detach from what's draining it and move differently. It's like a rebel against limiting situations, and it's all about protecting its freedom. Now, the sun forming a conjunction to Pluto and Aquarius when most of us are asleep is transformational energy. So, watch out for some dreams that you might wake up with on Friday morning. This is the kind of energy or the kind of transit where people say, I'm done playing small. Now, the moon is still in Pisces earlier in the day, and it will form a conjunction with Saturn and then Neptune. So, this can feel heavy emotionally early in the morning. And then when the moon enters Aries later in the morning, your energy starts to come back. So look, and then we also have a lot of sextiles as well with the moon entering Aries, because now we have Mars, Pluto, the sun, Mercury, and Venus all in Aquarius. So Friday is one of the most supportive, productive days of this week because of the supportive energy that we are getting from the moon earlier in the day when it enters Aries. So the best way to use Friday's energy is to take initiative, make a move, and watch out for ego battles or power struggles on Friday. Use Friday's energy wisely. Now, Saturday, the moon is in Aries all day and it's forming a square to Jupiter. So Saturday could feel like a personal reset kind of day. Um, this can create overdoing it type of energy, overthinking, overcommitting, overreacting. So some rules for Saturday, these are some rules that I'm going to follow for Saturday is do one thing and keep it really simple. Don't try to prove anything. The moon will form a conjunction with Chiron, and that can bring up some sensitivity around our identity wounds, our confidence wounds, and am I doing enough type of energy? But Chiron is healing. So this is good for journaling and having some self-compassion. Also resting and resetting your nervous system. Saturday looks a bit sensitive, so just take it slow and have some grace for yourself and for others on Saturday. Now, Sunday, we have the a moon in Taurus, and the moon enters Taurus around the afternoon or early morning or late morning. And Taurus moons want stability, they want comfort, food, rest, routines. But the moon will be forming a square to Mars, Pluto, the sun, and then the first quarter moon phase hits. So this can feel like some sort of pressure, tension, some conflict type of energy, needing to take action, but feeling resistance. This is a push through it type of moment. So Sunday is a reminder to all of us, this energy that's showing up on Sunday could be showing up to and reminding us to not rush anything. Don't fight for control, and also choose the grounded option. Don't make impulsive decisions out of irritation. Sunday looks, well, this weekend honestly looks really sensitive. It looks like most of the week we are finding something out. We are getting clear about something that might have made us uncomfortable. And by Sunday or Saturday and Sunday, we are processing it. So this weekend, try to have some grace for yourself. So overall, this week is a pivot week. It's the beginning of Aquarius season, and the energy is shifting from survival into future mode. So this is the week to start thinking about who you are aligned with, what community you are building, what you're committing to, and what you are leaving behind. You don't have to do everything at once, but you need to be honest about what's real in your life. If this episode helped you, make sure you subscribe, because I drop weekly forecasts every Monday now, sometimes on Sunday. And if you want to support the show, make sure you share this episode with a friend and leave a comment telling me what placements you have in Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, or Scorpio, because that's where this week is loud for us. And I have some late Scorpio planets, so I'm interested to see what Uranus brings. I have my moon at 27 degrees, and currently Uranus is at 27 degrees. So let's have a conversation in the comments about this energy and how it's showing up for us or you. And I love y'all. Make sure you protect your peace, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.